Hey YouTube, Andrew Profits here with a quick deck profile of my friend Kevin Millar's Samurai deck. He won the Winamax at the Philadelphia Regional. So I'm just gonna have him take over. He'll tell you what he played against and what his record was against them. So here we go.
What's up, guys? So right now I'm just going to go over the deck. I'll go over the extra deck, the side deck, and then I'll tell you guys what I played against and some of the little quirks that I had during the duels. Okay, so got 3 Kizan, pretty much standard. 3 Zanji. Most people run only like 1 or 2, or not even any at all. But I think his effect is pretty badass. So I'm able to use him with asceticism, so it's really good. When Kizan's powered up, I can get out Grandmaster, so I run 2 of him. Got 2 Elder. Most people run 3 because of the Cyber Dragon effect, but for some reason I only run 2, because I also only run 2 Kagemusha. With the new Samurai, they've become more based around Exceeds, so you don't really need the tuners anymore. So I only run 2 of them. We got 2 Kageki, 1 Inishi, and 1 Iroh, so that when they're powered up, you can asceticism into Inishi and Iroh. You got 1 Mizuho and 1 Hand, obviously majorly around asceticism. And not a lot of people run Great Shogun Shien or Anishi's Chancellor, but I do because their effects just seem to shut down most decks. Then we got 2 Valor, which is pretty much standard against most of the meta decks today, with Inzectors being big and the new Yugioh being bigger. That's it for the monsters. So go on to the spells. We got Gateway, Triple Dojo, Triple United, Triple Asceticism. For most people, they run 2 of each. I choose to run 3 of each because it just gives me that extra push that can go for an OTK. And usually I just wait until I can pull off that push. To help along with that, I actually run 3 1 Day of Peace. I originally came up with this as a joke because it's got Kizan on it, but after putting it in the deck, I found out that it works so well that I just ran 3 of them. Then we got MST and Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, and Mind Control. They're pretty much standard in most decks, but most people run multiple MSTs. That's it for the spells.
Quick question: why no Dark Hole, Sheeran Smoke Signal, or Reinforcement of the Army?
Okay, reason why none of the recruiters is because what's a big card out there? Thunder King. With the cards that are in the deck, I don't really the only searcher I need is the Gateway, because with the asceticism that allows for the special summoning of the monsters, and it keeps the deck flow consistent without having any dead cards in hand.
And when playtesting against me, if I use the Thunder King, it just shuts that down.
Thunder King is just an instant kill with it.
Yeah.
So now for the trap lineup, like you saw almost all the deck. Trap lineup, it's very, very simple. 2 double-edged sword technique and a Starlight Road.
Why none of the standard traps? You just can't fit it, or would you use it if you had room? Or
I could probably take some stuff out, but Mirror Force, it's too slow. Threatening Roar, that's only for stall decks. The Solemn Brigade, I mean, if I'm gonna OTK Swarm, I don't need them. I can just use Zanji effect to pop your high attack monster with another Samurai on the field and go for game.
And with this stack, I can say by experience, it does swarm like crazy. So, if you're interested in a deck like that, this deck does swarm.
So, moving on to the extra deck, we have Ulti, Legendary 6 Samurai Shien, Beast, and Catastor. So as the level 5s. Level 6s we have Gaia Knight, and Barkion. Level 7, I only run one. It's Black Rose. Level 8, we have Stardust, not only for the quick level 8 sync, but also because of Starlight Road, as well as Scrap Dragon for in case I did bring out Stardust and I can use that extra pop. And Mistworm for level 9. Now, the rest of them are Exceeds. Not a lot of people have this many synchros in their modern samurai builds, but I decided to go with that even though I only have 2 Kagemusha for for the versatility. For Exceeds, we have Leviair and Zenmaines as the extra deck. The rank 3s. Yeah. Zenmaines for the quick protection, and Leviair. Because of Anishi, Legendary Anishi and Shien's Chancellor, I'm constantly removing from play, so Leviair can just bring them back and they can get their effects all over again. Rank 4s, we have Blade Armor Ninja, who's standard. Number 39, Utopia, pretty standard. And now, most people, they put in Excalibur and... Like, what are some other rank 4s?
The new samurai thing.
Yeah. They put in Shadow of the Six Samurai, but I don't run them. The other 2 extra deck I have are Papal Operative and Maystroke, because the biggest problem I see with opponents is they either play a monster in attack mode that you can't get over, which you use Maystroke effect, it Book of Moons it, or they play something like Spirit Reaper or something in defense that you don't want to have in defense. Papal Operative effect switches it to attack. Yeah. It allows you to go for game a lot easier. Now we have the main deck and the extra deck over. Let's go with the side deck. Now, you might be a little bit more surprised with the side deck than you should. We got 3 Max C, which are standard. I have Gores for the occasional just field wipe. Grand Mole because, well, it's Grand Mole. Yeah. Econ for the just if I want to tech it in. With Insectors being big, I threw in 2 Granul and a Shadow Imprisoning. Now, this next one I threw in not only for mirror matches, but also against Exodia. We have 3 exchange. It's not just for Samurai mirror match. I actually recommend this for anyone who uses any archetype, because you have Insectors, you just exchange, oh, nice Hornet, I'll take that Hornet. Or,
and just keep it in hand, they can't go off.
Yeah, like you take their Dragonfly, you get their Dragonfly effects. So it's really good in any side deck. I use Mischief of the Yokai. This card is so underrated, it's not even funny. I mean, they'll bring out Rescue Rabbit, remove for Rescue Rabbit. They bring out the 2 Sabersaurus or Kabazals or whatever they're going to bring out. You activate Mischief of the Yokai. They can't go for Lagi or Dolka. All they can do now is Gachi Gachi or Daigusto Phoenix or whatever, but
they don't run it.
They don't run it. So it's a really good card, because you can also once it's in the grave, you can remove it from play on the next turn to select 1 monster on the field and reduce its level by 1. Which is good for not only your side, emergency exceeding or tuning or synchroing, but also to stop your opponent from doing that. Mainly for mirror matches, I put Temple of the Six Samurai. That's just pretty good for mirror match. And this last one, not a lot of people have looked at these guys anymore. But with the massive amount of Malefics and Gravekeepers and pretty much any deck that uses field spells, I decided to tech in an Earthbound Immortal.
Explain.
Okay, this Chakachahua, he's one of the special ones where when he's in defense position, your opponent can't do any battle phase. Now, granted, against Inzectors, they're not going to have a field, so you wouldn't have to tech this in at all. But otherwise, if you did tech this in against Inzectors, he would just get popped easily.
Yeah.
But for decks that do run stuff with fields, he's just there. While also, once per turn, he can make your opponent take damage equal to half of his defense. So you could just leave him in defense. Your opponent takes 1,200. If your opponent doesn't like that, well, you can just attack directly for 2,900.
Yeah.
So it's one of those special ones, and the reason why I chose an Earthbound Immortal for that is because most of the samurai, they're all about special summoning themselves. So if you still have your normal summon available, just sacrifice 2. You got it. You got an Earthbound Immortal on the field. So now I told you guys I was going to tell you about the decks that I faced off against. Round 1 in the Winamat, I played against Hieratics. Now, Hieratics are supposedly really good against Samurai because once the Hieratics get above a certain attack threshold, Samurai don't really matter. I actually got around that by dropping a Max C while he was the only card in hand. My opponent didn't care, kept special summoning, and I got 9 cards in hand before he ended his turn. The next turn, I just exploded and used Maestroke and Papilloperative. It just got around them so easily. Round 2, I played off against Dino Rabbit. He actually didn't draw any rabbit, but even if he did, I had both Veilers in hand, both games. So he wasn't going to be able to get him off anyway. Game 3. Round 3, I played off against Windups. Now, Windups were actually really hard because at certain points I had to set one of my Kagemusha, and I also had set a double-edged sword technique. He Exceed swarmed like they usually do, and he brought out Zenmayo, attempted to pop my Kagemusha and double-edged sword technique. I activated double-edged sword technique, brought back 2 of my engrave samurai, and then he proceeded to attack the samurai I brought back rather than just ending his turn and letting me take 3,000 damage.
Yeah.
So it's that win wasn't primarily on me. It was primarily his fault for letting me. But I just had to outswarm him with that, which, again, this deck does. Round 4, I played against the Yugiohs.
Yeah.
Now, the Yugiohs I played, their extra deck was unorthodox. They actually used Beret and Beredo because they were able to special summon themselves like the Yugioh Accelerator, and then they bounced back for Gen X Ally Birdman, and then special summon the Yugioh Accelerator again, and then sync up. But what made it even more interesting was the fact that the reason why I won was because Yugioh Armor was attacked by my Zanji.
Okay.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, Yugioh Armor has 1,100 attack, 1,900 defense. Zanji, he's got 1,800 attack. So he can't get over that. So he has his Yugioh Armor set, and in hand I have Elder of the Six Samurai and Zanji. He ends his turn, I draw, I don't remember what I drew. So I special Elder, he doesn't stop it, and I normal Zanji. He's cool with that. I attack into his armor, I may take 100, but his armor is dead because of Zanji effect. Now what gave me game was, I know he set another monster, which I knew was another armor, but he also set 2 back rows, which he didn't show me what they were. Next turn, I drew into another Zanji, hoping that he didn't have anything to like torrential or like stop my attack. I had summoned the second Zanji. He was down to 300.